How you guys doing? You guys good? Come on, baby.
Go.
My little baby. Okay, hey, it's my little daughter. She's 6. Hey, we'll start with you, baby. So about earlier this month, my daughter and I, we were walking. We visited the Alderman Cochran's office on 64th and I think Cottage, and we parked at about 67th so we could walk. We walked north on Cottage, and I always ask my daughter. I said, hey, what do you notice different about this community area? What are the sights and the sounds? How is Woodlawn different from Inglewood? How is Inglewood different from the South Loop? And she, of course, she hates it. She'd rather go to the park all the time. She says, "This is really boring. I don't want to do it." But this time, she told me, I see a lot of yards with a lot of trash in it, and she meant the empty lots. And I said, exactly. That's why we're going to the alderman's office, so we can ask the aldermen to ask the city to mow the lots, so we can pick up all the trash and beautify the community. And that's just what we did. Chicago Cares have been great. They gave us the lot ID numbers. We went to Alderman Cochran's office, we gave them the lot ID numbers, and they mowed the lawns, and we're here today. And when I was leaving the Alderman's office, I posted a picture of my daughter on Instagram, and somebody commented, they said, "Way to instill civic responsibility in them early, #love this," right? And that was the second time. That was the second time that I saw that word civic responsibility that day, because University of Chicago was having a leadership workshop on civic leadership, civic responsibility. And I asked myself, I said, what do they mean? What do they mean by civic responsibility? And I know obviously what responsibility means. I saw a basketball team here, Hyde Park basketball. My college basketball coach, Rico Burkett, his philosophy was no excuses. The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility in your actions, right? The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility in your actions. And man, after my first semester of college, he sat me down. He said, "Jahmal," he said, your grades are slipping. Why aren't you doing well? You got a great attitude. You work hard. You're the first person to show up. Why hasn't that translated into the classroom? And I had this long list of reasons. I told him, hey, I graduated from an alternative high school. We don't have professors. We had computer modules. On top of that, a lot of our games and our practices, they interfere with the class time, so I'm missing classes. On top of that, I don't have any money to afford the books. I was being honest. I don't have any money to afford these expensive college books. On top of that, the weather is cold out here. The people in Nebraska are definitely treating me differently. I'm having a hard time to adapt. I had all these excuses. He looked me in the eye and he said, "Jahmal, you know what? One problem with your list. Your name is not on it. No excuses. Take full responsibility in your actions." I was like, did this guy just hear me? I just told him that I don't have any money to pay for the books. I just told him that, I went to an alternative high school. I'm not used to having professors. Our game times are interfering with the classes. I'm having a hard time adapting. He said, no excuses. I came back to his office about 2 days later, and he gave me a book scholarship, paid for all my books. I was ecstatic. I was energetic. I came back 6 months later. I had 4 A's and 1 C. I never made an A in my life before this point. I ran up to my coach. I said, hey, look, I got 4 A's and 1 C. He looked me dead in my eye and he said, "Why'd you get a C?" He said, "Why'd you get a C? Why don't you get all A's?" I said, "Are you kidding me? The C was in business stats. I went to an alternative high school. I didn't have any professors. This is what I'm used to. The weather is messed up." And he said, "Listen, man, the highest level," he was trying to get me to change my philosophy. He said, "The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility for your actions." So, but does that philosophy translate into community? Remember I told you when I posted a picture of my daughter, they said, "Way to instill civic responsibility in them early, #love this." So I'm thinking, okay, personal responsibility, community responsibility. Does that translate? I think so. I think so. Because you ask some people, you say, hey, why is your community not doing better right now? Why does your community look like this? You know what they say? They say the city's messed up, the weather is messed up, the politicians is messed up. They have all these lists of excuses, right? They say the schools is messed up, the economy is messed up. We know their philosophy is messed up because mine was too, right? That's the same people that say, hey, if I lived in a better community, I'd be more involved. Come on, man. Come on, man. Listen, start with what you have right now, and that's how you bring opportunity. Do what you can and do the best you can. That's the same people that say, oh, if we had a new mayor, the city would be better. You don't need a new mayor, you need a new philosophy. You see what I'm saying? You don't need a better economy, we need a better philosophy. And I'm gonna tell you, that philosophy is simple, right? You ask yourself every day, what's something simple that I can do that'll have a positive impact on my block? What's something simple that I can do that'll have a positive impact on my block? And just because it's simple don't mean it's easy, but this stuff really should be easy, right? You don't gotta be as smart as my daughter and go to the alderman's office. You don't gotta call 311, nothing like that. You can say, Jahmal, I'm gonna pick up the trash today on my block. Go do it. You can say, Jahmal, I'm gonna make a Facebook page for my block club association. Go do it. You can say, Jahmal, I'm gonna create a new block club sign for my community. Go do it, right? Because it's about how you feel about yourself at the end of the day. Like, your block is a reflection of who you are, and you have a responsibility to what your block is. And you take that energy out into the city every day, right? And I know some people are gonna say, oh, it can't be that easy to create change. It is that easy, y'all. Because I shoveled my neighbor's snow, I posted it on a gram, I came back and 10 people helped me shovel snow the next day. It is that easy, but this is it. This is the trick right here. This is how we gotta change our philosophy as a city. When something is that easy to do, it's just that easy not to do it. It's just that easy not to pick up the trash in your block. You say, oh, if I litter today, it's not gonna turn my block into a pigsty. See, it's not making a big contribution to your community, but it's making a contribution to your habits when you don't litter. You say, oh, it's that easy not to call the police when you hear the gunshots. You say, oh, it's firecrackers. I'm gonna leave it up to some. That's how you turn your community into a ghetto. It's just that easy not to volunteer. It's just that easy not to get involved, right? But we're gonna ask ourselves, we're gonna change our philosophy as a city. We're gonna say, what's something simple we can do that'll have a positive impact on the block? That's our philosophy. And we're gonna incentivize that a little bit this year by partnering with a lot of organizations, one being Chicago Cares, who's doing great work in the city. But does everybody have a volunteer card, a green volunteer card in their hand? Good, good. That volunteer card, make sure when we reconvene, after you guys go out and clean, when we reconvene, you're gonna get that stamped. And if you volunteer 16 hours per year, with any organization in the city that we're partnering with, right? You volunteer 16 hours per year, you can get one of these fresh t-shirts. You volunteer 30 hours in a year, you guys get one of our embroidered hoodies, okay? Because listen, the city reflects who we are, and we all have a responsibility to what it is. So thank you guys for coming out. Make sure you stop at the volunteer table before you leave and grab a volunteer card. Shout out to Chicago Cares. Give it up for them, y'all. Cool, cool. When I say my block, say my block. My block.